It is written, "Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me." These days, there are few Zambian households without orphans. With a life expectancy in Zambia of a mere 37 years and HIV/AIDS claiming more lives than ever, children are once again suffering the consequences. These children need Jesus, education, food, clothing, and love to keep them from becoming part of this vicious cycle that claims more victims every day. To help us understand how desperate some of these situations are, we would like to introduce you to one of the teachers in Nagoli, one of the compounds where we work. Florence is the fourth child in her family, but all of her older brothers and sisters have passed away. As the oldest living sibling, she has to take care of a younger brother, as well as 8 other children left behind by her older brothers and sisters. Florence is unmarried, and as a community school teacher, her meager income cannot provide in all their needs. Unfortunately, Florence is not an isolated case. The subsidized government education ends up being costly as well when you think about compulsory school uniforms, shoes, and school fees. People from poor communities simply cannot afford this. The result is that over the last 10 years, community schools have mushroomed all over Zambia in a desperate attempt to provide at least some form of education to these children. Grace Ministries, in partnership with PGM, is running 2 of these schools in Kabwe. Both of the school buildings were in dire need of repair. Renovating the buildings to help create a suitable learning environment was a priority. The untrained teachers had to teach without textbooks and other basic educational tools. This is why we sent the teachers to the Christo Teachers Training College in order to equip them to teach with excellence and integrity, developing godly characteristics in the children entrusted to them. We now have called, committed, and discipled Christian teachers who have dedicated their lives to develop the whole child. Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. One of the highlights is the good news clubs and the daily opportunities to disciple the kids. We are encouraged by the changes in the children's lives. Another joy is the feeding of the children. We found it difficult to teach them as they were simply too hungry and too cold to learn anything. Some of the little ones in the pre-reception used to come to school crying because they were hungry. We rejoice at every opportunity we have to physically feed and clothe the kids. We have also identified these schools as centers of community transformation. This is why we have started adult literacy classes in the afternoons. It is our prayer that we will be able to extend this into teaching basic tailoring and other skills. Please pray and partner with us for funds and food donations to provide better meals for the children. Enough funds to support the voluntary teachers. the resources to add one classroom to each school every year. Outreaches to help us during the April and August school holidays to run phonics and reading, English and special needs classes. We have a dream of seeing born-again children, parents and teachers become part of God's answer rather than being part of the problem, being a blessing in their homes, families and communities. Over the last months, we have had the privilege of witnessing the beginning of just that. We hold to the promise of hope in 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9, that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, nor have entered into the mind of man the things which God has prepared for those who love Him. Why don't you join our labor of love here in Kabwe, Zambia, as we unite in prayer for the least of these?